The Chevy Corvette premiered at the General Motors Motorama Show in New York City 60 years ago. This, they say, is the very same car from that show. Flash forward to 2013 and the Stingray is back. GM returned to New York City to showcase the 2014 C7 Corvette, and all 6 previous generations showed up for the party.
My name's Tadge Juechter. I'm the Corvette Chief Engineer. We're standing here today in front of the 2014 Corvette Stingray, all new. Only 2 parts are carried over from the previous generation car. We've used the latest materials, advanced technologies, racing strategies, all throughout this car to create a 21st century sports car. You can see it from the very front of the car. There's a functional hood outlet. It routes air from the radiator up over the top of the car instead of underneath. Helps create downforce on the front end. In fact, so much downforce that when we get to the back end, we'll see there's a very aggressive, very large spoiler in the back, far bigger than we've ever had on a standard Corvette. And that's to keep the rear end planted as much as the front end, so on a high-speed corner you don't get loose in the back end. Every single vent in this whole car is functional, so I talked about the hood. There's another vent, a very big slash in the front fender. That's to let air out of the engine compartment, relieve pressure, so also lift reduction. You'll see a very large forward-facing grille on this car. That's because it includes all the cooling air as well as the brake cooling air comes through there as well. You can see the brakes on this car are very big, much bigger than we've ever had on a standard Corvette before. The wheels are 19 in front, 20 in back, Michelin tires. The brakes are Brembo. We're seeing record-breaking stopping distances with this car. Absolutely outstanding performance. The tires are very special from Michelin. Our tire engineer is the same guy who designs our race tires for us. He does that on the weekends. During the week, he designs our street tires. He takes the best of racing technology, the best of Michelin's on-road technology for low rolling resistance and good long-term durability and quietness and all that, incorporates that all into one tire that was custom made for the new Corvette. These are our competition sports seats. There's actually a little competition logo, genuine carbon bezel, very large openings in the seats. That's in case somebody wants to have 4 or 5 point harness installed in the vehicle. That's been a customer request to make our seats compatible with additional seatbelt systems. If you look at the whole interior, you'll see it's a beautiful cockpit orientation. All the instrumentation pointed right at the driver. We've got a big sweeping form, a buttress that comes right down into the center console and doubles as a grab handle for the passenger's left hand. We've got some really unusual displays, a lot of reconfigurability in this car. We've got 2 8-inch high-definition displays, one in the center stack, one in the instrument cluster. Those can show lots of different kinds of information. Since this is a convertible, this roof comes out of the car. You can have sunlight coming straight in. We needed to do the brightest displays available in the world. That center display is 1,000 nits. We think that's the brightest display ever put in a car. You also have the option of having the entire instrument binnacle clad in real carbon fiber, so it matches what you see on the seat, and actually on this car matches what you see on the roof. We're doing something we've never done before, even though we on Corvette essentially invented clear-coated carbon fiber that lasts the life of the car. So we have a UV protectant system that allows you to do the clear coat, and the car can stay out in the sun without breaking down the resin on the carbon fiber. For this car, we've taken it the next step where you can actually get a clear-coated roof with body color painted side rails, which creates this unique and beautiful graphic, but still exposes some of the genuine carbon fiber. You can also get a clear roof if you want an open air feeling, even though the roof is in place. And the hood is 100% carbon fiber, so we're increasing the number of carbon panels typically sold around the world by close to an order of magnitude. We've done carbon panels since 2004 on Corvette, but they've typically been in the thousands, a few thousand units a year. Now we're talking about doing carbon fiber panels in the tens of thousands a year. So it's a whole paradigm shift on the global use of carbon fiber. We hope to help continue to drive that down so that the material can be less expensive and used on other cars besides the Corvette, and maybe even more panels on a future Corvette. As we move towards the back of the car, you can see that this upper, the greenhouse part of the car, looks very different than any recent Corvette. We have a quarter window that creates a beautiful elongated graphic, and you see a functional duct here in the quarter panel. It's a very large inlet duct. It's patterned right after the race car. The Corvette ALMS Racer has a very large duct in here that routes cool air to some heat exchangers that cool both the differential and transmission. So we're taking that race strategy and applying it straight to the street car. On the left side of the car, we're cooling the transmission. On the right side of the car, we're cooling the differential. And we wanted to put this duct into the bodywork. On today's Corvette, if you look at the graphic, we have a wraparound window that comes down into this area and makes this part of the car part of the hatch, which moves up. It's very difficult from an engineering standpoint to create ductwork that goes through a moving panel. Every time you open the hatch, you're breaking open that ductwork, and any dirty water or anything like that can drip from that opening. So we wanted to make this a fixed part of the car, so we needed this part of the car to be part of the bodywork. In order to do that, we couldn't do the wraparound glass that you've seen on previous models. So we created a radical cut line on the hatch, very wildly shaped, and placed this quarter window in place as an enabler to get this duct located here. The thing that's really cool and surprising about this maybe is it actually saved a little bit of weight, and the reason is the wraparound glass that we have on the previous generation cars, in order to bend that glass, it has to be quite thick. Now that we have two panes of glass, the backlight and the quarter glass, that are very flat, they can be much thinner, and glass is very dense. So when you can go down in gauge, you can save a lot of weight. This duct, this cool air comes in this duct, is routed to small radiators, small heat exchangers sitting out in the rear quarter panel of the car. And then the cool air goes through, cools the fluid out of the trans or diff, and then that hot air has to go somewhere. So we put hot air vents on the back of the car in the lowest pressure area of the car we could find. That's right towards the outboard edge, right on the rear face. There's a low pressure area, almost like a little vacuum. You can tell when a car runs over a pile of leaves, that vacuum sucks the leaves up off the ground. It's the same kind of effect here. You got low pressure, kind of a vacuum, and so that helps draw the air from that vent through the heat exchanger and exits out here, thus cooling both the trans and the differential. Even though Corvette is a performance sports car, and making a car that's even higher performance than we've ever done is extremely important, we also have to pay attention to fuel economy. We do that by focusing on the fundamentals throughout the car. You got to have low drag coefficient, so it's easy to move the car through the air. It only takes 12 horsepower to push a Corvette through the air at 50 miles an hour. We put a lot of technology in the engine, including direct injection, variable valve timing, and the biggest card to play, to be honest, is the cylinder deactivation. At a steady state road load, you can get easily a 10% bump in efficiency by deactivating 4 of the cylinders. The engine is not working hard. You're on road, you're using a tiny percentage of the engine's total capability, so the engine is operating way off its efficiency peak. By shutting down 4 cylinders and working the remaining 4 harder, you get closer to the efficiency peak of the engine, and so you get better fuel economy. So those technologies really help from an engine standpoint. 0.3 drag coefficient, maybe even a little better than that, help a lot. But even the tires, the performance-oriented tires, they're super sticky, super grippy, developed in part on the racetrack, but then also use Michelin's best rolling resistance technology. And so that combination of technologies provides really a new generation of sports car tire. Great for performance and real low rolling resistance for driving around every day. We're the only manufacturer in the world that offers 100,000 miles powertrain warranty and doesn't void your warranty on track. Nobody else does that. Not even as soon as you start modding the car, putting performance stuff on, caling it or anything, then you're on your own. Put slicks on the car, you're on your own. We validate the car as we sell it.